Hello everyone, welcome back to Philosophy and Everything Else. We all heard of Islam. Perhaps no religion has ever made itself so phenomenal in the modern news than Islam. It is one thing to hear about Islam and another thing to actually know what do Islam actually believe. This video is made exactly for that purpose, that is to let us understand what Islam is all about. Islam is the second largest religion in the world, bested only by Christianity. The two religions have been depicted in many modern narratives as arch-enemies waiting to cut each other's throat whenever possible. But why is that? For one, the history between the two religions have not always been peaceful. Sure, there are peaceful moments, but only to say that is to ignore the bloodsheds between the two religions committed throughout the history. But we are not mainly interested in the history of them both, however interesting. We want to dig deeper, to dig if there's actually theological reason. That is, they have beliefs that conflict so sharply with Christianity that actually fuel them to fight against the kingdom of the cross. Let's begin by asking what is the ultimate reality according to Islam. When we ask Islam what is the real, that is the ultimate reality, similar to Christianity and Jewish belief, they will point toward the one true God. This one true God is the sole creator of everything that exists. He has all the omni attributes that you can think of, omniscience, omnipotence, and so on and so forth. In fact, Islam is one of the great monotheistic religion, that is a religion that claims only one God exists as the ultimate reality above everything else. This belief is shared by, most prominently, Christians and Jews. You might be thinking then, what's the fuss between them? Well, according to Islam, this one God is so singular that it cannot admit of anything to compromise the belief in the oneness of God. One chapter in the Quran says, "Say, He is Allah who is one, Allah the eternal refuge. He neither begets nor is born, nor is there to Him any equivalent." And another one, "He is originator of the heavens and the earth. How could He have a son when He does not have a companion, and He created all things, and He is of all things knowing." End quote. Since Islam began to be propagated around the 6th century, Christianity and Judaism were already there. So many scholars do think that these verses actually are directed toward Christians who, according to Islam, has compromised the oneness of God so severely by claiming that He has a son and so on. Islam vehemently rejects any depiction of God in pictures. That's why you won't find any old and white-bearded guy anywhere in Islamic images. This religion is centered first and foremost in Allah Himself. His nature demands submission. We have to submit to Him, and if we don't submit to Him, then it means that we have sinned. So powerful is this emphasis. The name of this religion, Islam, actually means submission. There are people, of course, who try to argue that the word Islam comes from salam, which means peace, which is true in a sense, but this peace can come only by submitting ourselves fully to Allah. Fun fact, Christians in Indonesia, which is the largest Muslim country in the world, call their Christian God Allah as well. In any case, we can begin to see the main problem according to Islam. Islam does not believe in original sin. They instead believe that man is born good, with inclination toward submitting themselves to God. When man resists this submission by self-hubris, leaning more to their own understanding and disobeying God's commandments, that's the true problem, insubordination. To relieve oneself from this problem is pretty simple naturally. The problem is disobedience, then the solution is obedience. But obedience to what? This leads us toward the solution according to Islam. The solution according to Islam is the 5 pillars of Islam. The first pillar is Shahada, that is a proclamation of faith. The proclamation is this: I testify that there is no God but God, and Muhammad is the messenger of God. The proclamation, when stated with understanding and the right intention, and better if with witnesses, will make one a Muslim. The first part of the Shahada is not surprising to anyone, but the second part signifies how central the Prophet Muhammad is in this religion. He was not only the political leader of the Islamic Brethren, but spiritual leader as well. Indeed, he was the last prophet who straightened up the crooked paths that the distorted teachings by their followers of the previous prophets have made. You see, Islam believes that from the beginning, Islam is the right religion. However, the followers of Moses and Jesus have distorted the teaching of Islam so egregiously that God has to send Muhammad to straighten the path again. The second pillar is prayer, where Muslims pray 5 times a day according to the designated times. The third pillar is charity, where Muslims have to pay their due to the poor. There are discussions on how much exactly they have to give, but I don't know which one is right. Fourth is fasting, mainly done in the month of Ramadan. The fifth is the pilgrimage to Mecca. This last pillar is said to be mandatory if you have the means, but not necessary if, say, you are very poor. We can see that Islam emphasizes belief in God, but doesn't stop at that. In fact, some will claim that Islam puts more emphasis in what you do more than what you believe. You believe in Islam? Good. Now do what is required of you as a true Muslim. What is the end result? The end that they are trying to achieve? First, they want to achieve peace with God in this world. How? By submitting oneself to the true God and His commandments, one will find peace in this world and ultimately peace in the afterlife. The Islamic scripture, that is the Quran, is not shy of depicting the grim nature of hell, a place where no one in their right mind would want to go. Heaven is equally depicted very graphically, involving images of full-breasted virgins. Some Muslims are fine with these imageries, which seem to accord with male wishes than females, but others try to explain away the image, pointing that the Quran is simply speaking with the language that people of that age understands the most. Whichever one is true, it is agreed that the ultimate peace is something worth having. It is the true compensation of our submission to the one true God. With that, we conclude our discussion of Islam and indeed the world religions. I know there are more religions to consider, but we survey these religions only in order to answer the question we asked in the beginning meaningfully. Are all religions the same at their core? The next video is exactly about that. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.